Welcome to the Sample Manager User Conference. We're really excited to have everyone here from kind of all over the world today. So thanks for joining wherever you are. One of the things that I wanted to start out with is we are recording this session. If you're not able to stay for the whole time or need to duck out for an experiment or other commitments, feel free to do so. We'll be sending the recording at the end of the conference. And if you have any questions as we put in the chat here, feel free to put it in the Q&A and the chat as we go, and we'll make sure to either answer those verbally or via chat, depending on kind of the question and how we're doing on time. So with that, I'll kind of jump in here. So we've got a packed agenda today. You'll be hearing from me first around our product update and where we're headed with Sample Manager and our other products within the suite, as well as hearing from our partners at Compliance Path. And we've got some really great user presentations for you today. I'm really excited for everybody to get the opportunity to learn from these really wonderful clients. And you'll also be hearing from our account managers along the way, and Lance and I towards the end. So I'll start out today looking at our review of Sample Manager for the last year and also kind of the product update and where we're headed. If you don't know me, I'm Hannah Brackey, and I'm on the product team for our Sample Manager and LIM suite. So we do this every year at our conferences and talk about why we're here and why does LabKey do this? Well, one of the reasons we want to be able to share how Sample Manager is growing. As most of you know, we ship releases every month, and so there's always new functionality and features that our customers can take advantage of. We want to make sure that you're on the cutting edge of kind of what we have, as well as being aware of what's next. Also being able to learn from both other users, but then also the account managers and service team here at LabKey. We have all of us collectively a lot of experience with working across different areas and different customers. And so really providing teams with the opportunity to learn about how other people are using Sample Manager and tools, and how you might be able to utilize those or think about your systems differently as well. And then lastly, it's really about being heard and getting feedback to LabKey. We often have regular touch points with teams, but we also want to hear, what is exciting for you guys on the horizon, and how can we then better support that as a company for your data management needs. So I'll talk a little bit about the key investments that we've made in Sample Manager over the last year. And the highlight of the year, and I think as most of you have heard and seen in the release notes, is continuing to build confidence in our product and making sure that your data is as well understood and defensible as possible in situations that it needs to be. And so some of the highlights of what we've done for this year is really expanded some of our audit logging. So our already very robust audit logging continued to get expanded, so we're able to view more changes or have more reasons for why things are changing within the system, and allowing for even smoother audits than what people are experiencing. Another thing that we've done here is have transaction ID pages, so you can see kind of as part of a single transaction what has happened as part of that record, which really allows for that greater visibility into what someone did and why they did it, and now even understanding how they've done that change as well. The third bullet here around two-factor authentication. This is something that you've probably seen in many other applications in your life. And we really wanted to be able to support our Sample Manager customers in this enhanced security as well. So being able to provide two-factor authentication at every tier of Sample Manager was something that we shipped late last year. And then also having more robust warnings during data import as well. So really notifying teams if there's something that is unclear in an Excel file or a spreadsheet that's getting uploaded. So there's full clarity into what that process is going to look like. Our second main focus of the past year has also been around efficiency. We want to continue to help you do work within the lab and reduce that burden that you're having to do with data tracking. So making sure that we have improved search and filtering capabilities, the ability to have global search work in a way that makes more sense, or filtering and saving on custom grid views as well. Showing identifying fields in more places. This is something we talked about, identifying fields last year during the conference, and this is a feature that we delivered to allow people to track and view other metadata on samples in more places. And many of you have adopted the usage of identifying fields and then requested even more places that you want to see those. And so continuing to expand on where those are shown within our application to be able to support that additional checking of the samples that you're working with in the lab. And then lastly, having some greater flexibility around workflow jobs and being able to move them between folders and provide required fields and things like that. We're going to talk about workflow a little bit later, so I won't go too detailed on that piece. Then lastly here around flexibility, and as most of you know, this is something that we really pride ourselves on. We want to make sure that our system can really align with your science and not the other way around. And so making sure that we continue to improve our flexibility to align with the things that you guys are doing in the lab. So the most exciting thing from earlier this year has been around supporting multiple unit types in a single sample type. And this really can support inventory or teams that have chosen to consolidate their sample types for one reason or another. So that piece has been really exciting. As many of you know as well, we've also been working on multi-value text choice fields. And so this really aligns with a lot of the data that folks are capturing. And so this is not yet in your instance, but it is coming soon. And so just wanted to kind of plug that, as that's something we've been working really hard at for the last several months here at LabKey. So as we look ahead, I want to talk about kind of what we're planning for the upcoming year. And one of the things that you'll hear from me later on today is around building out workflow automation. And this is really the concept is to make sure that we're going from a system of record, which Sample Manager is, and that's a very strong system of record, but we want to continue to also help folks execute work within LabKey. And so this is where we're starting as that work execution point, making sure that we're expanding workflows to have more end-to-end process automation, making sure all of this is no code. So similar to everything else we're doing in Sample Manager, ensuring that you don't have to write code to implement the tools within LabKey. And this will also help drive that consistency within the labs as well. And we'll hear, I think, from Origin and others today about how workflows have helped standardize some of the work or capture that standardized work. The other major pillar that we are working on right now and planning for the year is having AI-powered insights and really making sure that as AI becomes more prominent in our world across the board, that we are helping labs support their data analytics or their implementation with AI-powered tools. And so the first thing here is being able to have an MCP service for LabKey. And for those of you who don't know, an MCP service is basically allowing a connection between your LabKey instance and a secure LLM like Claude or ChatGPT to ask questions about your data within the system. And so this is something that we are developing now, and you should see in the release notes in the next coming weeks here. We also want to make sure that these LLMs can securely access the sample data and metadata. So always with security and compliance in mind, we are being very mindful and thoughtful about how this would work within your system. And then lastly, making sure that we can also have natural language interactions with your lab data within Sample Manager as well. So an example here that we're working on today is our calculated column expression assistant. So as some of you know, our calculated columns need to be written in LabKey-based SQL expressions, and the AI assistant that we're working on today can actually help support teams in writing those expressions. So saving you a little bit of time, giving you a little bit more insight where you might make those expressions a bit more robust. We'll continue to build these out throughout the year, but this is something, as LabKey always does, is we're going to be listening and hearing from you as our customers on what you need next or what could help support you. So this is all feedback driven. And then lastly, as we've done in the past, making sure that we're continuing having those quality of life improvements within our system, making sure that your work can get faster and more efficient within the lab. So having continued improvement on our data controls and making sure that we can get even more robust data controls there, having things like required system fields or default fields, making sure that there's advanced field configuration as well to allow you to archive fields that may not be relevant for the project or the lab anymore. As well as really sort of making sure that we're continuing to make our systems more flexible. So some things here are around having sample type wide custom fields that would allow teams to essentially create a field that is visible in the all samples grid, things like that. And then again, feedback from you on what's working, what's not, so we can continue to improve that application. And so I'll finish here with one of the other major things that we've been developing this year. And this is really our LabKey LIMS suite. And Sample Manager is the baseline product for that. And so that allows teams to manage their samples and centralize all of their scientific data. And when they're ready, they can start to explore the LabKey LIMS functionality to really help them execute these lab processes. And then for teams that have more specific biologics or antibody discovery workflows, there's a tier within this LIMS suite that also would allow people to track sequences and molecules, expression systems, as well as media registration within this. So really, all of these are sharing that same Sample Manager foundation and allow us to build stronger products at each level, as well as continuing to advance our functionality and support across different scientific disciplines. And so I'll pause here if there's any questions. I think the chat has been kind of being utilized, so I'll let somebody call out if there's anything new, but hopefully most of you know how to contact me. If not, you can always email sort of help@labkey.com or email me directly if you have questions or want to talk about what we have on our roadmap. So please feel free to do that. I will also be here for the whole conference, so happy to help answer there.